welcome to Uncle and Star Wars. I'm Uncle, and this is Ethan. We're going to talk about Star Wars and the Millennium Falcon from The Force Awakens. So who built this?
I did.
And why did you build it?
Because you asked me to.
Alright, so have you seen The Force Awakens?
Yes.
And what did you think?
It's very awesome. Like all the Star Wars movies.
Alright, my man. Okay, so in The Force Awakens, who do we have? Who flies the Millennium Falcon?
At first, Rey finds it and flies it. Rey was the first in the movie to fly it.
Right. And then who flies it after that?
Once they find Han and Chewie, Han drives it.
Nice, because it's his, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, it was actually Lando's.
Check that out. We're going old school because he did lose it to Lando. Lando lost it to him in a card game in Empire, just before Empire Strikes Back. Well, way before that. So, all right. So this was Lando's first, and then it was Han's, and then he lost it, and then Rey found it, and then Han got it back. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and tell me about this Lego Millenium Falcon from The Force Awakens?
So, it's really big. I think it's the biggest Lego I've ever built.
How long did it take you?
We did it 2 days, 4 hours every day.
Pretty much. And how old are you?
I am 9 years old.
And what grade are you in?
3rd grade.
Awesome. So, how many stickers do you think are on this?
I can't really remember, but I think about at least 15 or 20.
Okay, so there's a lot of stickers that you had to take off a little sheet and put onto little places like here and here, right? Mm-hmm. And then all inside. Go ahead and open it up and show us inside. So as he's opening this up, the old one that I grew up with used to just take the lid off. And it would always break, and it was always kind of cracking, and it was hard to keep on after a while. So the new Lego lets you go ahead and peel it back like a flower, so to speak, and then you can get inside. So who do we have inside? Do you know?
I can't remember these two, but BB-8, if you can't see him, he's right here, and Chewie, or Chewbacca, is right here by the bed.
We're friends with him, so we call him Chewie.
Yeah. Chewie.
Okay. And then who's up in the cockpit?
Right here, I can break this off. Han Solo. He's a lot older because I can't remember how many years it was, and
it's about 30.
About 30, yeah.
Yep.
And they play like, if you've ever seen the Lego movie, when Batman comes back from their ship, they said, oh, they play space checkers and everything. I think the space checkers board is right here.
That's right. That's a board that they use to play a game that looks like chess, but it's with holograms.
Yeah.
And there's this scene,
monsters.
Where Chewbacca and C-3PO are gonna play, and they tell C-3PO to let Chewbacca win or he might rip his arm out. Yeah, right? So, what's the coolest thing about this Millennium Falcon? Isn't there a couple of hidden compartments?
There are, yes, a couple hidden compartments. Should I show them?
Yeah, show them.
So, in here, where the gun is, it can actually open up. Right here we have Finn, which was once the Stormtrooper, and Rey, a scavenger. And they are making the gun. They drive the guns. Finn does the top one, and there's one, and if you lift it up, there's a gun right here that Rey controls. And there's one right here in between here, and there's a little space right there that a person can go into it.
So a hidden compartment where they can smuggle things, right?
Yeah.
And somebody can stay there. Awesome.
And right above it, there are little spaces. I've never thought of this before, but those could be secret compartments.
Well, Han was a smuggler and still is, and so yeah, I'm guessing they are secret compartments to smuggle things.
Yeah. And then right here, where this closes, you could put someone in right there and close it.
All right, so you love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Who taught you about Star Wars?
I think it was you.
It was me, and we used to watch some Star Wars cartoons when you were little, and then we started watching the movies, and then you would actually borrow my very expensive Blu-ray complete saga set, and you would watch one over and over again. What was it?
I think it was The Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
And I still watch it because
Yep.
it's awesome.
Yes, it is. So, with that, let's talk about your friend. You said you had a friend that lives by you. Tell me that story.
So I have a friend and his name is Arthur. He lives right by me, sorta, and he doesn't live in the same condo as me, but he's close by. He knocks on my door every day to ask me to play, and he's actually from Brazil, and he speaks Portuguese, and I want him to teach me how to say Millennium Falcon in Portuguese.
And why do you want to do that?
Because I thought it would be cool to post it on this video.
All right, and we're making a YouTube channel about Star Wars with Uncle and Ethan, my uncle in Star Wars. Now, we've taken apart the Millennium Falcon and we've shown you all the little bits and pieces, but there's a couple things we haven't shown you yet. Now, there was something that you like to push and shoot all over the room and we'd have to go find. What were those?
Those are bullets. If you can see right here, there are 2 holes on each front part. If you see the front 2, those, if you look inside, there are little red pieces, and there's one right here and here that look like round. They shoot bullets like this.
So kind of like a laser beam,
Yeah, it's the laser beam of the
Millennium Falcon out the front.
Millennium Falcon at the front.
Awesome.
These don't have laser beams. They're just, you can
Okay.
pretend they shoot.
And there's something else that we talked about before, and it's actually on the back. What is it?
So once you guys see the movie, once Rey starts to drive it, there are blue streaks coming out the back. That is this. It's sort of the engine sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of space and new technology. We don't know exactly what it's called. It's not the hyperdrive.
Yeah,
because
the
they don't.
hyperdrive is inside right here.
Ah, so it's inside. That's right. So, in the movie, The Force Awakens, there's something that Han Solo does that you were talking about earlier before. What does he do?
He, in the movie, Chewie, I'll get him out. Chewie has this bowcaster, and Han really likes it. I thought this part was funny, so he's like, give me that. And it's like where they're in the base, and he shoots a stormtrooper.
And what happens to the stormtrooper?
He dies.
He flies back, gets
Yeah.
pretty hard, hit hard.
He's like, that is awesome.
Nice. So, what happened to Han after all that?
He actually died because of Kylo Ren.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Sorry, it's been out for a while, but yeah, he did die.
Yeah, Kylo Ren is actually Han's son,
Uh-huh.
and he was on the exhaust pipe thing,
Catwalk.
catwalk, and it's sort of like in the Empire Strikes Back where Luke is holding on to the bar. Yeah, I think it's sort of like that same thing, but he gets knocked off and goes down into it.
So if you understand some symbolism, What he just mentioned was an homage to Empire Strikes Back and Luke and Vader meeting up, where Luke finds out that Vader's his father and he loses his hand. Well, J.J. Abrams did a great job paying an homage, a very decent, respectful type of, a respectful way to say thank you and we appreciate it, and we'll keep going on in that same tradition to the original director of Empire Strikes Back. And that was kind of having the same scene done that was an emotional connection and a very pivotal moment. Same type of situation that Luke was in. So even though Luke Skywalker was only in The Force Awakens for 8 seconds and never said a word, there was a lot of things that happened that were an homage to the Luke Skywalker, Han Solo charisma that they had on film. So when it comes to the Millennium Falcon, we know that Han Solo owns it. It was won from Lando in a card game. And we know that Han Solo kind of lets Rey fly it. And he respects her because she was able to bypass a few things to get everything working. And we also know that Han didn't really make it out of the Starkiller base. So now Rey's flying the Millennium Falcon, right?
Yeah, and this is sort of funny. I forgot what they say, but when you said they do something with it, Han and Rey say the same thing at the same time because they both know what they're talking about, and I say that's sort of a funny thing.
Right. This is a 9-year-old who grew up on Star Wars, who loves it as much as I do, but gets a whole new generation. Gets to see it through his eyes of being new for the first time, where we have a lot of expectations and we have a lot of things we want to see. He gets to grow up with it, and this is his new reality. How cool is that? To be a kid in a world where Star Wars is going to come out every year for the next who knows how long. They just made an announcement today I saw on Facebook. I didn't have a chance to read it, but they revealed what they're going to do with Star Wars after episode 10. So if you know anything, you know that the first year we got The Force Awakens. This year we got Rogue One. Next year we'll get episode 8, which is done filming and they're putting it in the can, so to speak. And then we'll get the Han Solo standalone film. And then we're going to get episode 9 and then go from there. With that being said, kids like this get toys like this for the next 10 or 12 years. I can guarantee you that I'll be buying the toys and he'll most likely be putting them together or playing with them. And when he's done, I'll put them up on the shelf because I like to collect them. But it's always fun to see them enjoy it as much as I did and as much as I do, and to watch those bright eyes light up and have those moments with Star Wars. So, anything else you want to say?
Not really. It's just a very cool experience to build this Lego, and there are others I've built that we might talk about.
Right. So, I'm kind of a Star Wars junkie, and I went out on Force Friday, the night that they put out all the toys in Toys R Us and Walmart, and I stood in line and I bought a few things, and then I bought a few more things, and then I went to another store and bought some more things. And this little guy put them together. So we'll be back and we'll talk about the others that we have, and maybe you should send us a request of a certain toy you'd like to see in the Star Wars world. Maybe we'll even get it, unbox it, put it together, and then let you see what it's like before you go out and buy it. But I can guarantee you, if you like it, we like it, and if we like it, you'll like it. Till next time, we'll see you. I'm Uncle.
I'm Ethan.
Have a good day. May the Force be with you.
Subscribe here.
Subscribe here.
Or here.
Or here. Or here. But just not with a lightsaber, because that hurts.
Good. Cut.
Well done.
That
Did you cut the
was awesome.
GoPro?